Hello everybody, it's Mark Mazzatenta. Thank you for joining me. I'm here to help strengthen your guitar skills. And today's topic is about the 5 very common kind of issues that come up in guitar lessons with students. So guitar students, guitar teachers, you'll want to watch this so you can recognize these issues that come up a lot and be ready to fix them quickly. All right, so in no particular order, I'm just going to run down these 5 that I see happen very often in lessons, and I have to address them quite a bit. So, number 1, sitting with the instrument and where your left hand and arm should be. Okay, usually what I see a lot is the guitar neck down here, and people trying to play like this, which makes everything harder. And even worse, sometimes the arm will get so low that it's sitting on the person's leg, and you can't do anything sitting like that at all. So get that neck up like this. Now you have like free range of everywhere you need to go. And if you just relax your left arm and then bend it at the elbow and just keep your hand relaxed, this is where it ends up, not down here. It ends up here. So that's where the neck wants to go, and you can only get it there by raising up the neck, usually with the strap. So I advocate for wearing straps all the time, even when you're sitting, because that will get the guitar where you need it to be. Otherwise, your hand and arm have to do things that make everything harder, whereas right here it's super easy. All you have to do is just curve your fingers over and everything's right there. Okay, so it kind of cuts a diagonal line through your palm if you're in the right place. And then all you have to do is just curve your fingers over and boom, you're right there without having to work too hard. So watch that angle, everybody, when you're sitting with your instrument, because if it's in the wrong place, it's making everything harder. You don't want that. Number 2, picking. A lot of times I'll see picking that looks maybe like this. Where the hand is just in the air. And then you're trying to pick a particular string from the air, and that's really high risk. I mean, that's hard to do, is to find the right string that you want from the air and then pick it. So I always advocate, hey, why don't you just put your pinky lightly on the face of the guitar, or maybe both of these fingers, 3rd and 4th. That way you have a reference point, and it keeps your hand really close to the strings, so that when you have to cross strings, if you have something down, you can feel a reference point. That to me feels very safe and secure, to have some contact somewhere. And occasionally I'll even put this part below my thumb down somewhere, maybe on the 6th string if I'm playing on a treble string, or maybe on the face of the guitar if I'm playing on the 6th string. So that's fine. You can do that. It won't get in the way of anything if you just lightly rest something on the face of the guitar. Makes it way more secure when you're crossing strings and using a pick. Number 3, strumming. So when someone's learning a song, they'll often ask, what is the strumming pattern? And that gets into some math issues if you're in 4/4 time or 3/4 time or something else. But the most important thing, I think, is making sure that your strumming pick direction, whether it's down or up, is coordinated with your foot. So if you're tapping 1 and 2 and They should be together. 2 and 3 and 4 and. You don't want an up. When your foot's going down, it feels very strange to do that. You want the downstroke, which is strong, to feel different from the upstroke, which is weaker. Now, if you have something syncopated, okay, all those and, your foot's going to be in the up position for that, and that's fine. But sometimes a student will get it kind of flipped at some point, and they'll end up coming down on the downbeat with an upstroke. You don't want that in general. You want that beat 1 to be strong and a downstroke. Foot and strum in the same direction. So watch for that. Number 4, finger picking. Okay, sometimes you'll have songs that might have some kind of arpeggio picking. That kind of a thing. Now, you can do that with a pick if you only have one note to play at a time. But that's pretty hard. You've got a lot of string crossings and a lot of movement back and forth when you can just put the pick down and line up your fingers. And that's easier. So I would suggest putting the pick down for arpeggio patterns like that and just use fingers. Now the problem is that sometimes you'll get someone doing thumb, 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 or they'll maybe go thumb, index, 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 index. Okay, so you don't want to use the same finger in a row like that over and over again. Why not just assign a finger per string? Like a lot of times if you assign your index to string 3 and your middle to string 2 and your ring finger to string 1, then whatever is happening in the song you're not going you can see which one is more efficient. Okay, so be careful about that when you're finger picking. And lastly, number 5 has to do with chording and chord shapes and changing from one chord shape to the next chord shape, which is an issue with everybody, including me. So you just have to analyze carefully the chord shape you're on with the chord shape you're going to. And you'll be surprised at how often that there'll be a finger that's common between those two shapes. For instance, the other day I was working on a song that used an E7 shape that's like our C7, but just moved up here where your third finger is on an E on the 5th string, 7th fret. Same shape as a C7, right? So E7, and then the next chord was an A7 bar chord. It's quite a handful there, A7. So you have E7, and then your next chord shape is this big A7, which seems kind of hard. But look at the third finger is common in both of those shapes, E7, A7. So hopefully you can identify a finger that stays in the same spot and use it as a link between the two chords. So keep it down. You're going to lift the others off, leave that common finger down, and then move. And that usually makes it easier because you have a link from one to the other. So look for that. Don't take everything off and then look at the next chord shape and then try to put everything back down. If you can hold the finger down, it'll be easier, more efficient, and you'll be happier with your practicing. All right, everybody, those are just 5 common things that I thought of as I'm teaching lessons that can be really helpful, that come up a lot. If you might just see if that's the case with yourself with some of these issues, and hopefully that can help you make things easier. All right, everybody, I will see you with the next video. Thanks for watching.